Guys, I'm always amazed at the number of excuses that people give for not prepping. And I think that it's mostly because they are lazy, and it's easy out. They make an excuse to justify not prepping in their mind, and they go with it, and it's because they are lazy. And they want to make excuses why they don't think it is feasible to actually prep. And a few excuses I hear over and over and over again. And we'll talk about 3 of those excuses here in this video. Number 1 is, what if I do all this prepping, all this work, spend this money, set up this retreat and this property, get this garden spot, fertile and growing, and build this coop for these chickens and these rabbits and things, and nothing happens? What if nothing happens? Well, guys, if you look around right now and you don't see anything happening, you don't see the need to prep, then you're beyond help. There's nothing more I can do for you all. If you are of that mindset where you look around and think, what if nothing happens? Everything's going to be fine. Why should I do all this and put all this effort and resources into being prepared and nothing happens? If you can't look around right now and see what's going on and see that we're in a collapse right now, people still will ask me questions like, when do I think the collapse is going to happen? When do I think STF is going to happen? It's happening right now. It's not going to happen. It's happening right now. It seems that a large majority of people, preppers included, I've always looked for the quick collapse. You go to sleep one night and everything will be fine that day, and you go to bed and go to sleep, and you wake up the next morning and the world, everything has collapsed. The economy has collapsed. The government has collapsed. Everything has just fallen down, and you are having to fend for yourself because everything has collapsed overnight. And if you look at history, most things don't happen that way, especially when it comes to the economy and war and things like that. It happens slowly. It happens gradually. And then when it gets closer to the edge, when it gets closer to falling over that cliff, it goes quickly. But leading up to that, a lot of people will sit on their rear end and be pacified and be like a lot of these people saying, there's no need to prep. And what if I do all this and nothing happens? People's been talking about, the economy collapsing here for the last 50 years, and it's not collapsed yet. Look around. Do a little research. Look at the cost where things were 2 years ago. Look at costs now. Look at the currency supply. The currency is in circulation right now. Look at the runaway government control and mandates, not just here in the U.S., but in other countries, and what's happening like in Australia and Canada. They want to happen here, and that's what they're working on. Look at the shelves at your local grocery store. Check the prices. Check the supply. And if you can't see things are happening right now, and that we're collapsing right now, and you still don't see the need to prep, then there's nothing else I can do for you all. It is wasted breath, me talking to you, and it's wasted energy and time and everything for you watching these videos. So go somewhere else and watch something that's more happy, something that feeds more into your fantasies of everything being okay, or the next election is going to fix everything, or something like that. A lot of people make excuses. That's another excuse people make, is that they think that it's going to be okay. It's just a downturn right now, but things are going to be okay. This is the United States of America. This is Canada. And, like here in the U.S., we have these communists in power right now. And people are still sitting around thinking that it's going to be okay. It's going to get bad for a couple of years here, but then, it's going to work itself out because the Democrats are going to be drug out of office and thrown out. They're going to replace them with conservatives, and everything's going to be okay. We're going to be back to the Constitution, and the economy's going to be booming. Everything's going to be just fine, and it's not. That's just an excuse people make. That's just happy thoughts that people give themselves for not doing anything. And guys, another common excuse that I hear often is, what if I put all my money into this, all my resources into this, or a large portion of those into this prepping? What if I put back that year's supply of food? What if I put back, those firearms, ammunition? What if I put back that gold and silver, for example? What if I put back these survival supplies? What if I grow a garden? What if I start raising these animals and, the collapse actually happens and someone comes along and takes it? What if my neighbors get together and come over and raid my home and take what I have by force? What if the local government decides to come in and take your stockpile and distribute that out to the community? What if? What if? What if? So I won't do anything at all. And by not doing anything at all, you guarantee 100% that you're going to have nothing. And sure, things could happen. You could put all that resources in, all that time in, and someone could come along, or a gang of someone could come along and actually take that by force. However, if you are prepared for that and have thought ahead, then that becomes much less likely to happen. And if you don't do anything at all, you're guaranteed to have nothing. If you don't do anything, then you have nothing at all. If you prep, then there's a possibility, and like I said, if you plan ahead, there's a good possibility that you'll keep what you have, be able to use what you have, and not get that taken from someone else. However, if you do nothing, then you're guaranteed to end up to have nothing. So the argument really doesn't make any logical sense, but people use that excuse quite often to not prep. And like I said, I think it is just mostly an excuse. They're justifying in their mind why they refuse to actually prep and why they refuse to actually do anything. But like I said, guys, if you do nothing and you use the excuse of fear that someone's going to come along and take it, your neighbors, a gang or whatever comes along and takes it, police, local government, whatever comes along and takes what you have, so you have that fear, so you do nothing at all, thus guaranteeing yourself to have nothing. So it doesn't really make any sense to me, but a lot of people use that excuse. Another excuse that I hear very, very often, especially when I mention anything about religion, anything about the Lord, anything about Jesus Christ, I always get comments that state, I'm not going to prep because God will provide. I did a whole video about this about a year or so ago. I posted that in the community section here about 3 or 4 days ago. I posted that video link in the community section here in this channel. You can check it out. But they use the excuse, that, and that's what it is. It's an excuse. They're justifying in their mind why they aren't prepping, why they do nothing. And I think that some of them actually see it as a show of lack of faith if they prep. They think that they want to put all their faith in God feeding them, God giving them what they need to survive, or God coming back and taking them up before things get too bad. And if you look at history, lots of people, lots of Christians have suffered. Lots of Christians has experienced famine, hunger. They've been enslaved. They have been beheaded. They have been crucified. Not only Jesus, but other Christians have been crucified. And they wasn't all saved. God didn't just rain down manna from heaven on everyone during every disaster that's happened. So you need to prepare. God gave us a brain. God gave us common sense. God gave us the foresight, if we look, to actually see what is happening, and gave us time to prepare for that. And by not taking that time and using the brain power that God gave you to prepare and to get ready, then I think you are actually turning your back on God. You should be preparing. It says in different places in the Bible about preparation. Noah is a prime example of this. Now, I'm not a biblical scholar. I don't claim to be. But, Noah, God told Noah there's going to be a flood. God told Noah to prepare. God could have said, Noah had to actually build that ark. Noah had to actually stock that ark with the supplies needed to last through the flood until those waters receded. Noah had to bring those animals onto the ark, according to the Bible. And God could have said, Noah, there's wickedness off the earth. There's going to be this major flood. And I want to save you and your family, so there's your ark. There's your food supplies on that ark. It's already stocked. Animals are on the ark and everything. You do nothing whatsoever, Noah. It's all set and ready to go. But instead, God came to Noah and told Noah, people are wicked. I'm going to destroy the earth with a great flood. Build this ark. Stockpile this ark. Get these animals on this ark. Save yourself and your family on this ark that you will build. So it's extremely important for you and I to build our own arks, because we see what is coming, and we need to take heed and use the brain power and the reasoning power that God gave us and build our ark. Stop making excuses. Stop pretending things are going to be all right. Stop pretending that you're just going to do nothing. I guess that's not pretending, that is actual fact. You're not going to do anything because you fear someone will come along and take that. Granted, they could, but like I said before, and I repeat, if you plan ahead, it's not very likely you're going to lose your supplies to anyone else. You need to have plans and backup plans for that, and that's all part of prepping. Anyways, guys, know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, found it useful, give it a big thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm the Creekmore Mighty here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.